What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a surprise auction, just like the headline said. So, went and bought an awful lot of books, so much so that I'm never going to be able to get through them all on the Saturday show, and certainly we will have them there. So I decided to do an impromptu auction. What is D? Oh, what it do? Yeah, what it do? So we already got some folks up in the house. Appreciate you hitting those bell notifications so you knew when I went live. I'm going to. I need Teen Titans 20. I'm surprised. Mad Mike. What's going on, Mad Mike? So anybody wants to sell anything, and I recognize you, then I'm going to drop that StreamYard link right there. Tim, the comic collector, what is going on? How are you doing? So yeah, just threw together this and said, hey, let's show some more books because I am going to be going, obviously, on the Saturday morning cartoon crew tomorrow at 1 p.m. But nope, I don't have the First Crush. Oh, you're talking about the Teen Titans 20. Gotcha. So got some a bunch of books, a lot of 30 centers, a lot of X-Men, a lot of Hulk, some Star Wars, some Vision, Scarlet Witch, some 90s era Catwoman, bunch of Peter Parker, Spider-Man, bunch of different stuff. So if anybody's looking for anything in particular, let me know. But we're going to go ahead and go through these things. Pops, I only have one. The only pop that I have right now is the Scream Symbiote Pop, the Walgreens exclusive. If you're interested in that, let me know. But the Collector Pete, what is going on? Mr. Comics 89 up in here plugging away his march to 1,000. If you haven't checked him out, go check him out. He is trying to get to 1,000. Is going to be giving away Second Silver Surfer, First Galactus, I believe, in a slab. So check him out. And but I don't think are you going to rig the system so that, like, well, you're on the wheel with everybody else, and so what's going to go on? I don't know. Anyway, yep. So let's show some books, why don't we? We got 6 people up in the house. I would really appreciate it if you all would share this out on your social medias so we can get a few more folks in the house. Got some bigger books. Got a Walking Dead 100 if anybody's interested in that. Got several bigger things. Don't want to really show those unless there's a lot of interest in the house. But if you can share that out on the Instagrams, I'd appreciate it. And if, like I said, if anybody's got some books that they want to kind of sling up, then let me know, or you can click on that link, and that will take you where you need to go. So at the A spot, we've got Incredible Hulk 396. Hulk teaming up with the Punisher there. We got Batman 532 at the B spot. B for Batman, right? You saw what it did there? And then we've got, it's a glow in the dark cover. Then we've got Thor 355, some Walt Simonson goodness. We've got at the D spot Evangeline and Glory, some chromium shiny foil goodness at issue 1. And then we've got Cyberspace 3000, #1, glow in the dark cover. Got Galactus on the front cover, and check that out, a newsstandy at E. Then we've got Marvel Team Up Annual, Spider-Man and Alpha Flight teaming up for Annual 7 at F. And we got Batman 46 from the New 52 run at G. We got Spirits of Vengeance #2 and #3 at H and I respectively, and those two are early 90s newsstands. We got Ghost Rider #11 and #9 at J and K, and those two are newsstands. And then Marvel Team Up Spider-Man with Moon Knight, Iron Fist, Power Man, and Daredevil, Annual 4 at M. And so this is a $4 round. And so that's what we will do. So we'll see what we got. Appreciate the 8 folks of you that are hanging out already in the chat. And what I'll do, I'll put some different stuff up as we go along. It's a little bit different when you got one person versus just yourself, or one person versus yourself. It's the same thing, Jason. Oh yeah. One person versus a lot of people is what I meant. What if we did, instead of this Incredible Hulk, we had Howard the Duck, number 6, some 30-cent Howard the Duck goodness. Anybody want Howard the Duck? Superior Hero Reviews. What's going on, man? Thanks for hopping in, saying hello, all that kind of good stuff. Let's see what else we got up in her. Any Ghost Rider love up in the house? We've got Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance number 1. So we got 1, 2, and 3, all of them newsstand, and this one is still in the poly bag. Check that out at G. So for every letter, happy Valentine's Day, Captain Comics. Arr. CFAP up in the house. What is going on? How are you? But yeah, so got Spirits of Vengeance 1 through 3 there. If anybody's a Ghost Rider fan and doesn't have that, or just want the newsstand copies of those are some goodies. How about some more old Marvel Tales Spider-Man? So we got some of these reprints here. We've got so there's a mystery book, and there is this book. So if I put this in front of there, you're not going to get the Batman. You'll get the mystery book behind there. So we've got Incredible Hulk in the Marvel Superheroes issue 60. Some 30-cent goodness there. We've got issue 52 at C. The Ultimate Reviews in Gaming. What's going on? Then we've got Marvel Tales featuring Spider-Man issue 53. So if you're like that 25-cent, 30-cent goodness, there's your sum right there. Just type in the letter. There's not an additional starting line that's going to drop. Just tell me the letter you want or what you want, and we'll make it happen. So you get 2 books for $4. The book you see, and then the book that you don't see back there behind there. So and we got Tales of Suspense. That's a pretty thick book there. Square-bound book. That's an acetate cover there. You should be working, but you're hanging out with us, and so that's so much cooler. Tales of Suspense right there. Let's put that at H. So H, you're going to get Tales of Suspense. Marvel Selects version there. What about some Punisher War Journal? Punisher War Journal number 15. Jim Lee, Spider-Man goodness, and Punisher goodness at the iSpot. So $4 a claim letter. Claim away. We got Spider-Girls number 1. Spider-Girls number 1 featuring some of the lady Spideys. And we're going to put that at J. So if you want that, you'll get J plus the mystery book that's hidden up under there. Not the one you just saw, but the one under it. So 2 books for $4. Any Wolverine, X-Men fans up in the house? I see Tim up in here. Hey, ME Comics, what's up? X-Collect, what's going on, man? Hey, if you want to jump in the chat, sling a few books, drop the link earlier. Just feel free. I've got Batman Run, Riddler, Run. You probably already got that one. But anyway, so Batman Run, Riddler, Run. We're going to put that at E if anybody wants E. Then we got Mark Spector, Moon Knight, number 21. Team up with Punisher and Spider-Man. and newsstand copy of that. I appreciate it. X. We'll put that at K. If anybody wants that. Any Magic the Gathering comic book fans? I know that since Boom is coming back out with that, there's some more heat on those old Acclaim titles. But if anybody's interested in that, let me know. Got Superman Action Comics #1 from Futures End, a little lenticular goodness. It's amazing now DC was able to do the lenticulars and Marvel came out. Strange, ain't it? So if you are a Superman fan, there you are, right there. Yum. Okay, there you go. What's going on, Mark? What about some people that want some first appearances? Deathmate Black. Deathmate Black, that is the first appearance of Gen 13. If you are a Gen 13 J. Scott Campbell fan or something like that, then check that out. And let's see here. We got Spider-Man, X-Men fans. What do we got up in here? What about Justice League Doomsday? Justice League 69. Early Doomsday appearance there. Early Justice League appearance there. Put that in the place of A there. Anybody is interested in that? Got some Star Wars. Any Star Wars fans up in here? We got Star Wars Force Awakens #2. So let me take off some of these right here. Move to #2. What about Superman, Man of Steel? The little sticky clean. Pick your own fight. First ever do-it-yourself cover. Still in the poly bag. So Soups fights the main man. It has these little stickers that go on the back of it there. Little vinyl clings that you can put on the cover if you're interested in that. That G.
I didn't get that.
Got 14 people up in here. What is going on this fine Friday? What about the second Nebula? Got Avengers 258. Isn't that the second Nebula? Second Nebula, I believe. That's at C. Let's see. How about that? What about some Neil Adams goodness? Got Deadman #1. I really picked that up thinking that it was a Batman, Neil Adams. And then it dawned on me, Jason, that's why the other Deadman stuff, which the name was more apparent on the other covers, were behind there. But Deadman #1. D for Deadman. Glow in the dark. Which one are you talking about? Glow in the dark. I had that Batman that was glow in the dark. And I've got a Ghost Rider that's glow in the dark too, but that Batman was up there. It's glow in the dark. I'm trying to remember, is it a? Trying Trying to see what was on there. Some kind of design in there. This is just an extra. I've already got one of these, so. Kelly Jones Batman. Oh, the dead man came in a glow in the dark. Okay, gotcha. No, that one's not. No, that's just a regular cover. Just a regular. Yep. So got a lot of X-Men. Got a lot of got some Batman. Try to sell Batman. Sometimes. So we got Detective Comics 819, Simone Bianchi goodness there. So let's put that Detective 819 at H. Got Detective 801. Poor Mike, what's going on? 801. We're going to put it at I. All right, I dropped the link again. If anybody is looking to maybe sling a couple books, then certainly let me know. But all right, what do we got here? Yeah, so every is 2 books, and so it's $4. $4 per claim letter. There's 2 books. Some of them I stacked up, and that's not entirely accurate. So in other words, you don't get all 3 of those books. It's just the one you see, and then there's one you don't see. So there are 2 books with every claim, and it's $4 a letter. It's like this dead man. It was just easier for me to put those on top. It's not the other 2 that are on there. It's just this one and that one right there. So I had Marvel Tales 25 center, and then some Chromium 90 shiny goodness. All right. Hopefully everybody's doing good out there today in the YouTube lands. Hopefully got some good comics to settle down with. All right. Well, I do appreciate the 11 of you that are hanging out in the chat. So what we're going to do, because it seems like there's some people that want to hang out, but not people that want to buy comics, which is fine. So this is what we're going to do. Hold on a second. Hold on. Ta-da! Different view, huh? Well, so what I'm going to do, since I had everybody still in the chat here, we will do something a little bit different versus starting a new stream and all that other kind of stuff. So we got 10 people here. Let's show off some books. So I recorded a video last night, an hour long, went to go to splice it together, and guess what? It didn't record. Now, tell me how that happens. If you know, let me know, because it really sucked. So last night, as I had been in Georgia and picked up an awful lot of books, almost a loan box just for the PC, a loan box to sell, that I had recorded that video and gave all my late-breaking, earth-shattering reviews, or just maybe me rambling. And I found out no film in the camera, exactly, right? So found out it didn't record. So let's show some books off here. We got Conan versus Rune. Barry Windsor Smith goodness right here. He drew Conan for the early issues of Marvel, and then also drew Rune. So it was able to pick that up. NSA has a backdoor on your computer. They don't want us to see what you've got. It's a conspiracy. It's a vast left-wing conspiracy. And so I know Mark from Legion of Comics is up in the house. And so he is a Hulk fan. And I hope I'm not going down this rabbit hole, Mark. It's all your fault. Incredible Hulk 26. This is from volume 2 there. We got 43, 44, 52, 88. Looks like it's kind of an homage to that Hulk 104 or something, like 105 maybe. Then we got Incredible Hulk number 5, number 10, number 8. Him versus the Punisher. No, who's not going to win. Then we got 7.1. We got issue 7. We got. What's up?
Yo, sorry. I put a message in the private chat. I'm grabbing the bike.
No, okay, no problem. You want me to put you back to the back or what?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, no problem. Mark was saying 43, that's a Boiling Point story, I think. Such a great story. Okay, cool. And then this one right here is the death of Hulk's wife when the bomb blows off. And, of course, he blames the Illuminati for it. So that one was really cool. That's issue 105. And then so when you're digging through these boxes and you find something on the cheap and it means something to you because you need to collect what you like, then that's definitely cooler than sometimes to me than finding that huge book. And so like this, Sliders, y'all remember the TV show Sliders, Acclaim, which owned Valiant at this point, which I collect these random stuff like that. The Illuminati, it's all their fault. That's probably why this video didn't take place, because I was talking bad about the Illuminati before. But yeah, so Sliders special, number 1. Sliders Darkest Hour, which is issue 2 of 3. And so those were really cool. Then we got Incredible Hulk 25. We got Incredible Hulk 89. This is right before he gets blasted off into space to go to Planet Hulk. And then we've got Incredible Hulk 24. Incredible Hulk 87. 14. What is this, Incredible Hulk Hour or something? Number 11. Then we've got Batman Annual number 13. And we've got Highlander number 9. There can be only one, but there's actually issue 9 here. There's several issues of that. This is Dynamite Publishing Highlander. This is a Dave Dorman cover, which Dave Dorman probably better known for his work with early Star Wars, Dark Horse stuff. Incredible Hulk 53. Then we got Detective Comics 836, Simone Bianchi goodness. Looks like Scarecrow's giving Bruce. That reminds me of that cartoon where he's chasing Scarecrow and he says, "You know who's going to visit me in jail, Batman? My parents." Oh, parents. Oh. That was so hilarious every time I see that. Incredible Hulk 461. Oh yeah. He can draw a Hulk. It seems like John Romita has just like been mailing it in the last couple of years. That stuff is just not as good as what it used to be. We've got Incredible Hulk 28 or Legacy 502, Hulk 99 Annual, Hulk 39. 55, 40, Red Hood and the Outlaws 27. I just saw some Hulk. He had to come up in here. Let's see here.
I'm just
What's
sitting
going
here
on, man?
bagging and boarding anyways, watching you. So I figured I'd hop on and see what's up.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd save
Yeah.
me some time. I have to keep stopping with the tape to type comments. So
Yeah, so that's Transformers 38. And because I'm a valiant sucker, every time I see these chromium covers, I always pick them up. 3 more copies of Shadow Man Zero.
nice.
Just because.
I still have that Nintendo 64 video game they did for Shadow Man.
Oh, do you? That's one of
Yeah,
the rarer ones.
Some X
Yes.
Factor goodness.
Yeah, so
There's not a Deadpool card in there, is there?
No, I got one. I didn't realize I was rich until I started seeing all those posts.
Dude, I hope that those cards keep their value, man. I hope that those people that enjoyed them because they enjoyed them and held on to them, I hope that pays off for them.
So Jim Shooter gets fired at Valiant, so he goes and creates Defiant. Defiant goes to Funk, and then you have Broadway Comics. So just not stuff you see in the wild all that often, but this is Powers That Be number 2.
That's pretty cool. Jim Shooter has a very interesting path through comic books.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, starting off writing when he was 14 for Legion of Superheroes, wasn't it?
I can't believe how Marvel treated him, man. They didn't have a good track record for treating their employees for a while.
Well, the thing with Jim Shooter is that Jim kept
Tough as nails.
What's that?
He was tough as nails.
Yeah, and so I mean, in other words, people didn't necessarily like him, but he wasn't asking him to be liked. He was asking to do your job, and so he kept the artisty type people in line, made deadlines, that kind of thing. But when it came to the higher ups, that kind of rubbed them raw, and so that kind of cost him his job. But yeah, so Psylord, similar to the Shadow Man number 0, have to get some chromium there.
Who was it that said something earlier on your live stream, the Shiny 90s?
Yeah. Stanables. Yeah, what's going on, Stanables? Yeah, shiny covers for sure. Detective Comics annual number 3.
Nice. Yeah, I like those Batman and Detectives you showed earlier, the 1 year later covers. The all black one with like the half portraits that they did right after Infinite Crisis. Those were awesome.
Yeah, Simone Bianchi did a lot of cool covers with that stuff. Detective Comics 597.
So have you committed all the way into Detective now?
No.
It looks like you have. You're just in denial.
No. No. Batman. And then now on this Hulk kick, that's even worse. Wolverine number 5. This is the first cameo appearance of Dakin, Wolverine's son.
Yeah.
Exo Manowar Zero, another chromium goodie.
There you go.
Now I got my newer stuff, Erratic, which I think I showed some of this stuff off.
The comic vet highly recommends that new series. He said it's been good.
Yeah, it's a good, fun read. Yeah, well, appreciate it, Stables. Then we got Incredible Hulk 393 because I don't never see the newsstand ones of that.
Yeah, I've got a handful of those. That's one of the few that I pick up whenever I see them. Just love it.
Then we got Dark Hawk number 43, which is paying homage to the
it looks like Martial
X-Men.
Law almost. You remember that comic Martial Law? Some crazy late 80s indie stuff.
Yeah, Prudence and Caution, a Defiant title. So we were talking about Jim Shooter. I collect all the Defiant stuff too. Turok number 1 just because. Incredible Hulk 400.
Nice.
2099, first appearance of Hulk 2099. Found this Toy Fair 95 Wildcats number 1.
Very nice. I remember they had a cartoon of that in the 90s, didn't they?
They did.
I know I still have some of the toys, like I have Maul and Warblade.
So Avengers, this is Avengers 24. It's an homage to the Uncanny X-Men from back in the day, Days of Future Past there. And Wildcats 25, this is the direct edition. If you recall, what's his name bought the newsstand from me of this 25. It was the one he needed to complete his Wildcats set.
Nice.
And the guy that we did the
Sam.
Yeah, he bought the newsstand I had found at a small comic shop. Got Power Man and Iron Fist. This is the issue 125, which is the last issue where there's
Does that villain have nips on his suit?
Yeah, man.
Nice. Joel Schumacher would be proud.
You got Magnus and the Robot Fighter, Gold Key, goodness.
Oh, fire. What issue is that?
9.
9.
Did you see where I picked up number 1?
I did. I was very jealous. There's a number 2 sitting at one of the LCSs here in Augusta. I want to get that Dr. Solar number 1, but number 1 he's not wearing his costume, so I want to get the first few for Dr. Solar and need that Magnus.
So I have now got more of my sequential Batman needs met after this week. I have got let's see, Batman on volume 1. I've got 262 to 713.
Nice. Let me show you this real quick.
Right.
The Batman Superman number 1. My dad used to draw a lot, and he hadn't in years since I was a kid. So I took a couple of those plain artist covers and just dropped them off with him and said, if you ever get time, man, will you draw on these? So for Batman Superman number 1, he did me a cover, and he has Batman and Superman bested by Amazo, and who better to bring in to stop Amazo than Magnus?
Let's see here. Oh, that's cool.
He says, I've defeated the world's finest. Not yet, robot. That's fire. Yeah.
Hey, talking about that, I shouldn't show it because I'm spoiling future content. But if anybody that's in the chat here sees this book again, pretend you never did. I just got this in from a guy in the comic community.
Oh, wow. Who drew that?
Tricky Trapster.
Dude, that is amazing.
So I wanted a Hulk 181 homage, but I'm kind of a stickler for like if this has to do with something with what's down here. So I thought, well, there's a crossover between Marvel and DC. So look at Batman's batarangs, just like
For the
Wolverine's
claws.
claw. And then
He
of
did
course,
the face so well with that weird neck.
yeah. And then he colored it, and I mean, dude, it was. I won't spoil it for that other show, but that is what he did to color that whole thing was definitely cheap for sure.
That's insane.
But yeah, so I've got these Batmans, and I'm working my way backwards. But we got 268 right here, and then 265 right here. So got a dent in those Batmans. Picked up Jim Lee, the Millennial Edition Wildcats. Transformers Generation 2, number 7. Then we got some Dinobot action for number 4 of that issue.
Nice.
Mighty Thor, number 30. Number 30, Andy Kubert on the Beta Ray Bill action.
I'm excited for his new series that Daniel Warren Johnson's going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna. He's got to get his hammer back at some point.
Yeah, which the whole solicitation is that he's hammerless and has to do something about it. So hopefully he does, or at least a new weapon.
So this is X-23 issue 17. Yeah.
Is that Adventures in Babysitting?
Yep, I was just gonna say that's Adventures in Babysitting. Thor helmet and all for the Fantastic. And these, because Boone's picked it back up, these have actually got some steam. I didn't collect it for that. These are Armada, which is Valiant / Acclaim's other imprint. But this is Fallen Empire's Magic number 2. They still got the little life tokens in there. And then Shadow Mage, this is the bigger one. I got several of them.
That's some good art on it too.
Prism, I'm a sucker for prisms. So got Wildcats number 2, Detective 770. Yeah, it does look sweet in the my light for sure. I got a whole bunch of these, and so I've been wanting to get one. The Superman Unchained, number 1, Jim Lee goodness.
That was a good story as well.
Yeah, Stambles, reach out to me on IG if you need some, because I've got some of those extras. I picked up this right here. Of course, nice. TMNT number 1. Got Deathmate, the pink preview, which is one of the rarer ones. The rarest one is the orange one. But, yeah, this is not one you just see out in the wild all the time, for sure.
So what part of Georgia were you shopping in?
Atlanta. Yeah, you ever been to Dave's Comics?
No.
Yeah, if you make a trip over to Atlanta, go check them out. You be sure to have enough money on hand because you'll be wanting to spend some for sure. Detective 707, Wolverine 17, X-Men 7. That's the Marvel Legends one.
Some of those action figure reprints actually go for decent money.
Yeah, and if it's a book that I don't go after if it's not something I'm not interested in, but I pair it up with the other stuff. Talking about Ramita earlier, this is Ramita on Wolverine, issue 31. We got Hulk 318. After all that Hulk, you thought I'd be through. Wolverine 315, 305. X-Men number 6. This is the Marvel Legends reprint again. Detective 601. Magic the Gathering the Wayfarer number 1. And then we got Shadow Mage, Magic the Gathering Shadow Mage. We got 3 more copies of Turok number 1, just because.
So you came away with 6 copies of Turok?
I think I've got 20 plus copies of Turok already.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. One day I'll be rich. Incredible Hulk 443 if Chromium ever becomes a thing. Incredible Hulk 709. 407.
That's a cool cover.
You got Detective 818. We were talking about those covers earlier.
Yeah.
And we got Hulk Annual number 1. And then we got 16. That's the variant edition
Yeah,
of
it's in
that.
the drawer.
Hulk just hanging out in the park. Got his headphones on, just chilling. When the Tear Up movie dropped, oh man, I'm gonna cash in. You know it. I know, right? Thomas, it seems that way. This is Hulk 420. This is the AIDS issue, where Hulk's friend dies of AIDS. Detective Comics 677. 712.
You see where Nightwing put that costume back on in Future State?
I heard they're going to keep some of the Future State stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a handful of characters from the different titles that are going to make it through.
Well, Thomas said he can't say nothing because he's got plenty of X-Force 1s. If you got the Deadpool cards, you're in luck, my friend. Better
I
sell
went
them.
and checked mine. Yeah, I just went and checked mine today, but I do not.
Well, I've got one of each card, so I've got one Deadpool card. So this is a Dick Sprang cover. You know, he did a lot of the early stuff for Batman, but this is Detective 623. And then there's Detective 621. 830. Some more Prism-y goodness. 12 copies of Deadpool. Sell for sure, man. Avengers West Coast 71. This is an homage to Uncanny X-Men 101. Found X-Men 281, which is the introduction of the Gold Team, and that is a newsstand copy of that. We got Neil Adams Nighthawk number 6. So this is Windjammer, which is the creator-owned imprint for Acclaim/Valiant. And he did Nighthawk. He did She-Bat. I wonder where he got that idea from. Of course, saying that, I mean, Neil Adams, I think, created Man-Bat, so I guess he felt that he could do She-Bat. Why is that card going crazy? Good question. I don't know. I looked up and I saw all these people selling them. Said, yeah, Deadpool's rookie card. I guess technically that's true. I mean, technically it's the second appearance of Deadpool. So, what do you do?
That's collected. We need the Reddit people to drive up the price of Turok.
Exactly, like they did GameStop and everything else. Got a little Hulk number 10 with the old Defenders on that. I think there's a A, B, and C cover where the bad guys are on there too. Detective 657. Hulk 342. Some McFarlane goodness there. House of X number 1. Recognize that art?
Looks like Eastman.
It is.
Oh, nice.
It's also
and
signed.
it's signed. Very cool.
Yeah. So he signed it. Yeah, you just don't see much Eastman outside of Turtles. So
I saw a Ghost Rider that he did on a cover for somebody on Facebook, and it was like the coolest looking Ghost Rider I'd ever seen.
yeah, I mean, you just see, when somebody's just known for that one character and they can do something outside of there, it's
awesome.
I get these sketch covers just because I'll find somebody. Got Uncanny Avengers number 28. I think that's the John Tyler Christopher. My boy John Tyler Christopher knows how to draw him some girl robes.
Is that
There you
before
go.
he started leading the way with the negative variants? Those are really cool, though. You scored on those.
Oh yeah, got Hulk number 8. That's another matchup between him and Wolverine there. Got Wolverine Battles the Hulk, which is a reprint of the Hulk 181. And check out this score. Number 1, 5th print.
Very nice.
Got Batman 230. Batman's with the Black Panthers. Got 2 more copies of Exo Manowar 0, just because. And 2 more copies of Turok.
Did these all come from the same store?
Yeah.
You left no Turok behind, did you?
No Turok left behind. That's right.
No Turok left behind.
No, actually, the guy owns 2 stores. He owns one that's further south, and so I went to both of them. I had passed on this. Did you ever read this?
I did not.
I heard some good things about it. Tim Seeley, which did Nightwing. I think he did Rebirth, Nightwing's early stuff. And Inhuck Lee did the covers on these. So I saw the one, hoping I would find the other ones. Wolverine.
Is that just a straight up Masters of the Universe from DC?
It's Masters of the Universe, Masters of the Multiverse. He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse.
I think I might have one of those.
He meets like all the different He-Mans and stuff. Detective from the New 52, issue 42, 38. Incredible Hulk 428. I found the Rebirth one-shot for Red Hood and the Outlaws. 396.
Was that the one shot or the issue 1 of that?
Of what?
Red Hood and the Outlaws?
This is the one shot because I got the issue 1 of it. Because I thought I was like, well, I think I already got this, but I'll get it again. But then we got 403, and then we got Hulk 429. Seen a lot of Green Goliath in here. Got 82. Issue 41. The cereal box variant there. Then we got issue 16. Got Wolverine Days of Future Past. Of course, that's an homage to the Days of Future Past storyline. Hulk or Uncanny X-Men 140 or 141. Got Wolverine 15. Hulk 312. 293. 294. 298. Warlord, what's going on? Yeah, it was kind of weird, strange in the 90s. Everything was strange in the 90s usually. Hulk 299. 394. 409. We got Kindred number 1. Some Grifter, and I think that's Backlash maybe. Brett Booth on the art there. We got the Rom booty cover. Why in the world Rom's got his booty up in the air, strangely like that?
3-point stance.
But yeah, so Rom is in this issue of 296 of Incredible Hulk. Issue 355 of Incredible Hulk. More Defiant Comics. The Good Guys, number 9. Dogs of War, number 1. Prudence and Caution, number 2. And just because it's another Chromium cover, Ninjak number 1. Got Hulk number 66. You think I got the whole run of Hulk yet? 412. 85. Wolverine 26. Hulk 392. Newsstand there. And then we got issue 430. We got 464. What's going on, Big O? You trying to get on TikTok, XCollect? We got 465. And we got annual 16. Wolverine 29. And Wolverine 27, which is a Greg Land cover, but it's the Steranko homage there. We got Detective Comics 21. This is newsstand. That's the reason why I already had it. And then this was one of those finds that I was in there and I was like, this is just so cool. Is the X-O Manowar #1. It's the volume 2, but it's the Overstreet Fan edition. So it came in the Overstreet Fan magazine and in a poly bag, and so that came in there with it. So and it's one of those books that's really not worth all that much, and it's really cost prohibitive when you go to buy one on eBay and you got to throw in shipping costs and all that kind of jazz in there with that. And so to find it in the El Cheapo bin, definitely a find of the day. Somebody's unhappy. All right, so everybody needs some more Turok in my life. I don't have enough.
Now, isn't there one of those Turoks that has a different color trade dress on it that is rarer?
Yeah, so there's a gold edition, and then there is also the Valiant Validated Signature Series, so VVSS. And it was signed, and Valiant, I forget how many of those, because they did different amounts per book. I've got one of the Valiant Validated series, and then I've got 2 of the gold ones. The rest of them are all normal.
Nice.
Got War Dancer #5. That's another Defiant comic there. Transformers 45.
I heard you mention that those higher issue Transformers got really rare compared to the lower ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the longest running miniseries that, and they even made fun of themselves at the end of it because the last issue it says, I think it says issue, whatever issue it is, of a 6-part miniseries. Because originally it was supposed to be a 6-part miniseries and they just kept it going. Warriors of Plasm #12, another Defiant comic.
Those are 90s cards, trading card goodness right there, the Plasm cards. Because you would get you come in like 9, you try to collect 9 at a time to make one big picture on the back of the trading cards.
Yeah, I was looking on the back of that one because on the back of some of them they show the merch that you used to. Oh, here we go. So they have like the little merch, like you could get a Defiant hat and a uncut card set, and I've seen the cards you're talking about.
And they even had a Plasma brand binder that you could get for your trading cards. I've got the whole set of those. Yeah,
the problem that Jim Shooter ran into with Defiant was that the timing, because you're about at the end of start of the bust of the comic industry, and just running out of time. I don't really too particularly care for the Dynamite version of Turok, but when I found this one on the cheap, there's not enough pouches for you to know, but that is Rob Liefeld right there.
There's some pouches.
Yeah, there is some. Yeah. Sliders Darkest Hour #3. Again, another Claim / Valiant title, as well as Neil Adams's Nighthawk #5. Also found Dr. Solar Man of the Atom. This is when Dark Horse had him.
That's such a cool character.
And Jim Shooter was writing it. Cool cover. Couldn't go wrong, especially on the cheap. Detective 846. This is right around the time is that the Gotham Sirens first appearance? Somewhere around there?
I'm not sure. I know during that RIP run though that Alex Ross took over the covers.
Right.
They were amazing.
Incredible Hulk 251. Wolverine 303. Wolverine 59, which this is the guy that's better known for his Marvel Zombies work.
Suyan. What's his name? Sedan?
Yeah, Sudang or something. Yeah, Sudan.
He had a lot of trouble for plagiarizing people's photographs.
Oh, did he?
He did.
We got Hulk 459. 466. Got this just because it was a Rogue and Gambit cover. Extreme X-Men number 17.
It was a deceased cover, the one with the Killing Joke on it. He took a photo offline of a cosplayer who recreated the cover for Killing Joke as a cosplay photo, and he took that photo and just altered little things to make him look like a zombie and didn't acknowledge or pay the cosplayer.
Oh, dang.
Then he tried to deny it for a little while.
Huh. Well, yeah, I think he's actually supposed to be at the Huntsville Comic Con. Are you going to go to that?
I don't know. My schedule is crazy, man. Running a kennel, having little kids and stuff. I'm just really trying just to shoot for a Heroes Con in North Carolina if they have it this year.
So they are going to have Chris Claremont. Of course, JDF's going to be there.
I'm going.
The guy that done the voices for a bunch of cartoon characters, but Ren and Stimpy is the one I'm going to get him to sign something for. Jim Shooter's going to be there.
When is it?
April the 9th. It's, it's April the 9th, 10th, 11th. I think it's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is.
For me, I'm from Augusta, so that's Masters Week for us. That's when the tournament's here, and that's literally our busiest week of the year.
Everybody comes into town.
Yeah, and we're less than a mile away from the actual golf course.
That's cool.
We get really busy with people renting and people who are going to the tournament that bring their dogs with them, but don't take their dogs any farther than the kennel. It's really cool.
Right. So that's 110, and this is 11. Number 67.
That's a good cover right there.
61.
Now, have you read through most of this time era of the Incredible Hulk?
Not these. I've read Planet Hulk, World War Hulk, and this era right here I have not read.
Ed Like Me was really cool. That's where there's a bunch of like little, they look like little mousers almost from TMNT that are after him.
Yeah, but you know, Planet Hulk and World War Hulk are definitely some of my favorite storylines. It's just a really cool story.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got 79. 59.
Thank you.
Yep. Dogs of War number 2, another Defiant comic there. Then we got Powers That Be number 6. That was one of those Broadway comics. Wolverine 316. Billy West. What's going on, Thunder God? How are you? The original Turok Son of Stone. These were after Valiant had basically raped over, for lack of better terminology, the Gold Key characters. They came back for a couple of issues and did this for the Gold Key characters, which is more back towards their roots. Then we have Detective Comics 604, 689.
You have a lot of detective for somebody who's not trying to collect detective news. It's happening. It is happening.
So I'll pick it up on the cheap, but I haven't gone after it, if that makes sense. So
Convenient shopping.
Yeah. So like it
really quick, I bet.
So like if I see my problem, I hope I haven't looked at my CLZ app to verify this, but if I get like a whole bunch of sequential numbers and then I need like 10 for a, really good run of sequential numbers, I'll start trying to go after those 10. And it's the same thing with the Hulk. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna kind of we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart way to go at it, though. That way you're not like blowing your bank trying to key shop or anything, or stressing finding certain missing issues. Just see where it naturally fills in, and then start plugging holes where it needs it.
Yeah, because like with Batman, I confined myself to the 200s. I'm not saying I don't get something outside there if it's the right deal, but really the 200s, and I'm backing up right there in this. Now I'm in the 250s basically, and I back up like that way.
What are you going to do about the big keys when you get down into those single digits?
Yeah, just one at a time, just like everything else.
I'm excited to see you pull a Batman #1 up in a video.
Whew. I saw one. Elite Comics put one up for sale the other day. It was $80-something thousand. I was like, phew.
Well, I'm assuming you're already saving up for that purchase down the road.
You know what I bought? You see what I bought this week? I showed you the other cover that I bought. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, you're not saving up.
So, Batman, and I say that, which Batman's a bigger run, and it's into the golden age. I thought my X-Men run would take me forever. And it took me 1 year.
X-Men's very accessible. It's not old. Like in terms of comic books, if you were talking old comic books, you have to get outside of Marvel.
Right. Yeah, so, but I mean, even with X-Men though, you have some really big keys in there, like some expensive keys, like Giant Size and X-Men 1 and 4 and stuff like that. So, but I mean, it just kind of fell together really, really quickly. But that's how I started on my X-Men run. Was I started picking up stuff in the back issue bins, and then I started seeing where I was really close and started doing that. And then I said, why don't I just go ahead and collect all the X-Men? So that's what I did. But
there's just a huge difference. Even with having stuff like X-Men that has so many big keys and there's some really expensive books, they're still really, really accessible though. Like there's so many copies of them. They're really not that old. And when they came out, they were so new that a lot of people bought them. When you're talking like old DC books, you're talking pre-war stuff, and it's just not as accessible. So the ones that are out there, not in good shape, or either there's really, really expensive.
Yeah, you're right about that. That it might be a Talia al Ghul story. It kind of looks like that. Yeah, that's how it starts. Stanables. Unfortunately, but in the golden age. But see, I'm not a guy that chases grades. I chase books.
Yeah.
So I like my Batman 8 or my Batman 13, 1.5, 2.0. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Low grade is better than no grade.
Yeah, especially when you get up to those big books like that. I mean, it becomes so cost prohibitive if you're trying to make a run at it. If you go with the big grades like that,
you can either collect the run or collect a book.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And the thing with detective, and the reason why I shied away from it is because as bad as Batman is, there's some detective books that are just as bad or worse.
Absolutely.
You're talking about some major. I mean, obviously, Tech 27, the big one, right? But you got Robin's first appearance. You got Martian Manhunter's first appearance. I mean, you got a lot of big keys in that detective run. Jay McCrae, I reached out to you on Instagram. You might have to look at your messages if you're not following me on IG to see that DM. I was showing some stuff earlier and nobody wanted to do it. And so I just said, well, I'm going to show off my books that are mine and that I'm keeping. Oh, for sure, man. All day long. All day long.
Have you ever stopped to look at what just pages go for like Tech 27 or Action 1? Like the people who are selling the pages, the individual pages, understand that people could piece these together and make a fortune. So individual pages are thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I looked at a graded page of Batman 1, and it's the first page. So that it did make it a little more valuable because it was the first page and it's Joker's on the first page.
Yeah.
So, but it was $9,000.
That's insane. I was looking to like I'm a big Superman guy, and I window shop Action One and get on
Yeah.
my comic shop and look at those things a lot. And even the pages that don't have Superman on them, thousands and thousands of dollars, like torn up. And I've seen somebody slab a piece of a cover of Action One, just a sliver of cover. And they graded it, just a cover sliver.
Hey, check out what I got.
Oh, that's fantastic. Is that the Treasury stuff?
Yeah.
That's
So
really
a guy on IG was showing a box, and there was something on top of this, but I could see just enough of it to know what it was. And he said, "I'm going to sell this stuff, so I'll be posting it later." I said, "What do you want for the Treasury?" So we reached a deal on the Treasury, and he also sold me this Moon Knight number 17.
That's a really cool cover.
Joe
I recently
Jusko.
got the Superman Spider-Man one they did around the same time as that Hulk and Batman.
Yeah. I mean, the art in there is just great, man. It's classic. The guy, what's his name, that does the Batman stuff in that era? Giordano. He draws, quintessential Batman.
It's insane.
But that just came in the mail. But so then I got Wolverine 317.
Oh, that's a pretty cover.
We got Hulk 399. Oh yeah, Thunder Guys. You're talking about the Journey into Mystery #1. Yeah, there's a shop in Jackson, not one I visit very often because of the way they do their pricing, but they have a 3.0 and it's several thousands of dollars just for that. 3.0.
Now, you ought to address the elephant in the room with all this Hulk showing off. Are you going to keep taking it back? You got Hulk #1. I'm assuming you have 102. Are you gonna fill in the big gap between 6 and 102?
Good question.
There's some must-have books in that gap. I mean, must-have. Even if you don't do the whole thing, if you just target Hulk.
So I was bidding on an auction the other night for the second appearance of the Abomination. That one right there. Yeah, that's the one that I was bidding on.
It's about to go to CGC.
Oh, sweet. What do you think it is?
I'm hoping to get a anywhere between a 6 to a 7.5 out of it, depending on how it goes with Eric. But I'm going to send this and my Mr. Miracle to Eric, and then I'm sending a couple of books to John Jang to have him work on for me. So I'm about to send 4 books because that's going to get pricey possibly, and I'm not trying to spend a lot right now. Just send some stuff that I've been sitting on really wanting to get encapsulated and display. But colors on this are still great.
Oh yeah.
There is there's a little bit of wear on the spine. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on there, but just that stress just from sitting closed even for a long time. But it is a overall, all in all, man, it is a clean copy. It really is. There's no tears on it.
Yeah. So the first appearance of the Leader is another book in that.
Like 27 or something, 57.
And there's been some rumblings. Well, the Abomination's coming back. He's going to be in the She-Hulk show. So that's why I was really, if I was going to do it, I said I want to get that one first before it pops again. But it's still relatively reasonable, for a first cover appearance, second appearance of a bigger Hulk character. But the Leader is rumored to be in some stuff, so those are the two I'm going to go after, and I'll see how it goes after that.
I think you definitely might want to aim for Abomination first, because if just looking at the formula of history, if it's not a fun villain, they really don't spec out hard. There's been a lot of villains introduced in the MCU, but you don't see all of their first appearances going crazy. It's just the more entertaining ones is what I've kind of noticed.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, and then it just takes a couple people, just like with the Deadpool card.
Anything can happen.
And then next thing you know, it's a big book. But got Magnus #2 from the Dark Horse run. Got #3. And number 4. Hey. We got Tech 820. Hulk 327. And who was on this one that I said, who did this? That I was like, oh, I can get that dude to sign that. Sam De La Rosa. So Sam De La Rosa is going to be at that Huntsville Comic Con. So I don't know. I like to get kind of a variety of books signed, not just like one thing they do, but like a variety. But yes, Shadow Man number 4. That's from volume. That's the reboot era of Shadow Man and Valiant. And then last but certainly not least, 2 more issues of Turok number 1. Why? Because Chromium will go up one day and I will be rich. So I did a show earlier unveiling the mystery box from Slotted Up Comics. So if y'all didn't check that out, be sure to check that out because I also got I got some stuff, but I'm not going to show that off until I'm on there with that artist there. But I did get these out of that mystery box: Infinity Gauntlet 9/6, and then Walking Dead 100.
I thought it was awesome that CGC acknowledges the first appearance of a baseball bat on the label. That was really cool.
Well, if B.B. King can have a guitar named Lucille, then, hey, he can have a bat named Lucille, and it means something. Of course, you didn't see that. I got the $100 bill. Better take that out while I'm thinking about it.
5 years from now, you're flipping through your books. Oh, yeah, I forgot that was in there.
This sounds kind of silly, but it's so sad it's true. When the government came out with the state quarters, they released so many quarters every year, and there was a bank here locally that gave away a thing to put the quarters in. Well, I only had 2 kids at that time, and so I got 2, one set of each, and so I went through there and I was putting them all in there. And I forgot I even had them. And, man, I went through some tough times. I'm talking about tough times. And I cleaned out after all that was said and done. I cleaned that out and I looked at it. I said, man, if I'd known I had this, I would have taken that and bought groceries with it or something,
Now, my dad got those for me and my brother as well. And like we just pushed a quarter into them, and there was one he got. There was 2 slots for each state, so that you could put one of each mint in it.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever looked at them when you were getting them, but they had like the P and the D mint.
Right.
I remember growing up, checking all the change all the time, trying to help them fill those up. It was really fun.
Yeah, I had those, and so I just readily popped them all out so I could have some money, quarters to go do something with. But I never got all 50. I probably hit that broke state before I could complete them all. But
it's hard to think about you having to go through hard times like that when less than 2 weeks ago you were showing off your Incredible Hulk #1 purchase, man.
Yeah, it is.
Ebbs and flows, don't it?
It does. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so those. What was I going to show off here? Oh, I'll show this. So we were talking about sketch covers, and we were talking about Valiant. This is a Bart Sears who done Turok #1. That's him who drew that. Was Bart Sears, and so he's done. I mainly remember him for his Valiant stuff, but he's done some Blade stuff for Marvel back in the 90s and some other stuff. But he did the sketch cover of the Exo Manowar armor wrapping around Eric. So kind of a liquid metal. If you ever read the Robert Venditti run, which I would recommend to anybody who's not even a Valiant fan, just read the Robert Venditti run. It's a 50-issue run. It's fantastic. But when he rebooted Exo, he did away with the ring. So the ring used to be how he controlled the armor. But when they rebooted, they did away with the ring. So I got him to draw the ring, call back to the old Marvel. I was going to send it into CGC, but the only way they would do it would be the Fast Pass and the Press 2. And I said, the last time I sent a book to them, they tore the cover off and never owned up to it. I don't want to pay for the Fast Pass because because this thing right here by itself was $300. So
Why would they only do it if you pay for all their extra services?
that was the only way that the Bart Sears has somebody facilitate this for him. So that was the only way they would do it.
You're
And
trying
I
to
said,
help
well,
like in some kind of agreement you have with them or something.
probably so, because Freddie Williams, he didn't do that when I bought that Turtle book. You saw that Turtle book I got from him.
I think
That
so.
He said, well, just do it under yours, and all I got to do is put this piece of paper attesting that I did it and put it in the box with you, with your stuff. So
Are you just going to CBCS it?
no, it went to CGC.
No, that book, the EXO.
Oh yeah. One day I'll get around to sending it to CBCS and getting it slab.
Like the more as time goes by, I'm just getting to the point where I just appreciate more and more CBCS. And it's for a while now. The only thing that has been is I just wish they had the white boxes around their grading numbers. I don't know why that's such a kind of a big thing for me, but I still use both companies.
Yeah, on occasion I'll use CGC, but most of 90+% of my stuff's going to CBCS. Matter of fact, Eric, the comic underscore presser, just got through with a big old batch of books and sent them to CBCS for me. I had already filed it, and so I could check on it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I sent my first Doc Afra there, a newsstand photo cover, Star Wars Tales. If that one comes back good, I'm going to sell it. Phantom Menace cover, Heir to the Empire. That's the first Thrawn. Legacy #1. Werewolf by Night 37. That's the third appearance of Moon Knight. I got a gold Wildcats 1 signed by Jim Lee.
Oh, fantastic.
I got Batman 232. Which one is that? Crap. What is 232? It's it's somebody's first appearance. I got Detective 400. That's the first Man Bat.
That's the Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, the green Ra's al Ghul. Yes, right. So I got that one. X-Men 4, the Uncanny X-Men 4 that I had to replace because I gave the other one away. So my new one, I sent it off. Batman 244. Sent it, and Batman 13.
Nice. That's a good submission.
So yeah, quite a few. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 books.
Right.
So
We've got 2 at CBCS right now, 2 at CGC, and 19 on the way to CGC that are shipped off, but they haven't shown as received yet.
oh yeah, they had. Somebody had said it was like 3 weeks before they actually acknowledged that they had gotten it.
Yeah, it's be a little while.
So, Stanables, you're reading the EXO. The reason why it took so long was the whole shutdown and they put the pencils down type deal with Valiant. It's coming back. I'm kind of I haven't bought into the latest run yet. Dennis Hopeless Haslam is writing it. I haven't bought into it yet. But I did get this from 616 Comics. This is a loose homage to Exo Man of War #1 with the old trade dress. And so he's got the armor is sentient. And so it finally decided to change itself. Then I got the 1 in 25 variant from 616 also. The little glow being the O there.
That original EXO cover was kind of bland with him just kind of standing there. It looked like he was at like a 90s family photo backdrop, just kind of that grayscale, just standing there.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to get Bob Layton to sign mine one day at a con. My Exo Man of War #1.
Nice.
T. Ravis said he did some. Bart Sears did some DC stuff back in the day. Yeah, I wasn't. I knew he'd done some other stuff, but in my mind, just being a kid of the '90s, that Valiant stuff was what was always and that Turok XO stuff just what always stood out to me. I'm not a big fan of his latter stuff that he did with Blade with Marvel. I just didn't think it worked right. There's some artists that do really good on certain characters, and then they're horrible on others. And it's like you just stay with that one character. But there's other artists, if they draw it, it's going to be fire. It doesn't matter what it is. They're just like that. Eclipso, yeah. Did he do the one with the plastic diamond? T. Ravis, I remember the plastic diamond one. It seems like he might have done that one. I do remember that now. So what you got going on? I know you do the show on Sundays. Are you doing anything tonight or tomorrow?
I'm not doing anything tonight. Probably. Somebody asked me if I could hop on their channel with them at 10 o'clock, but that's kind of told them I don't know. I got to be up at 5 o'clock for work. It's my weekend, but I had my new comic book day video drop today and every Saturday. We got the live show on Sundays, and if y'all haven't already, check out the Comic Bets channel because I've started doing a little team up video with him that posts on his channel, and it's just like the top pick book for the week. But I just had my LCS owner when I went in to pick up my non-DC books today. He had a gift for me, and it was a really cool statue. So I'm gonna do like my first little statue thing. And I don't do edited videos on my channel. I just do straight shots.
Yeah, me too.
I've been thinking about how am I going to do a straight shot unboxing a statue without it taking forever. I mean, it's not any kind of crazy sideshow, but it is going to be loud. So I think I'm going to record 2 videos and then upload 1 video into StreamYard. That way, you know what I mean? So you could just hit that little video button like normally you would hit for your intros or something.
Right.
So it's kind of fun like figuring out how I'm going to do that. But it's a really cool statue. It's right up our alley because he knows the kind of stuff that I like. And he told me he just wanted to do something to say thank you. I don't know what for. I guess because I kind of push his shop for him.
Mm-hmm.
But they've known me since where I was born, So I don't have a problem doing it yet. Grew up in that shop.
Yeah, so this is an idea. This is something that I got with the intent of unboxing some of my figures. There's an app called, or do you use Apple or you use Android?
Android.
Okay, I don't think they have a version for Android, but so there's an app called Epoch Cam, and so if you noticed if you were on that stream that I did with the unboxing a while ago or earlier, I used that camera. That's my iPhone, and I've got a thing that I got at Walmart for like $30, and it's got like bendy arms on it, and you can bend the camera where you want. It holds the camera and it has a light to go with it, and the light hooks up to the USB. So I use it for my auction on Saturday, and I can angle the camera down so it can get a clearer picture of that. And if you're wanting to unbox the camera to really show off the figure itself, you could get it to angle it to where it's overlooking it, and so all the people see is you handling it like this, and it's viewing down from down there.
I could do 2 cameras just by like logging my phone in, and just how we're on 2 screens. I can run 2 screens from where I'm sitting, but I noticed how you have that second camera angle now, and you're just hitting a button to switch between them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not actually changing, like moving the boxes on the screen around, like moving my camera or your camera around.
Right.
I'm assuming that they're both hooked into your computer together.
Yeah. So the Epoch camera runs off of Wi-Fi, and so as long as my computer and my Wi-Fi and the phone are on the same Wi-Fi network, I can use it like that.
That's pretty cool.
So I just switch it back and forth.
So your camera settings, it just picks that camera up when you're in there. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and so that and I just do it like that, and it's easy enough to do. Thunder, I do not have the Last Ronin one per store. There was one at the store I was at yesterday in Atlanta. but it was a little pricey. And if you just saw all those books that I bought, it was not on the radar as high on the radar, right? So, but yeah, I was happy to pick up.
Did a free long box come with the purchase of those books?
They did. Yeah, it's one of those ratty long boxes nobody wants to see, but yeah,
Low grade is better than no grade.
well, see, my I've got those cardboard filing, file holders, whatever you want to call them, but filing drawers, and so it slides in there, and so it stacks up higher, and I can pull the long boxes out of there. So I'll have to get new long boxes because those ain't going to go back and forth out of that thing because they're about to fall apart now. But now that's better. They gave me a box, at least for the time being, temporarily, because my LCS, they do a similar deal. Like if I fill up a long box, they'll give me a certain deal on it. But they make me pay for the box. So I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
Dang. I hope they don't watch your shows.
Yeah, they need to. They need to because he could get some really good ideas. Because I've told him, like when the virus went to shut everything down, I told him, I said, dude, you need to get on Facebook. You need to get on Instagram, YouTube, something. Be selling stuff. You just be up here by yourself and be putting those stuff. Yeah, I don't know. So the guy that's
a big hurdle for people who don't already do it. It seems really intimidating. Like me, when it comes to selling stuff, I have a hard time letting go, but just the idea of having to deal with shipping stuff regularly or people just being, people collect differently and some people are really nitpicky and having to deal with all that, man. I just don't like the idea of it. Just trying to organize the giveaways I do, that has to be a coordinated effort. You know what I mean? It takes like last night during the Burks live stream, I sat there on mute most of the time if I wasn't talking, putting together those shipments while I was doing that because I just don't have a lot of time.
Well, you're talking about putting things on mute. That is a pet peeve of mine for auctions where people don't put things on, they don't put themselves on mute. I'm like, I don't want to hear your bag of chips. I don't want to hear you burp. I don't want to hear you none of this stuff. Just put it on mute. It's like, just put it on mute. I don't need to hear you. I've
been muting myself half the time we've been on here.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too, right?
Ben was sitting next to me eating a turkey sandwich and running around, get ready for a bath, but nothing's going on. It's just household life,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fully understandable. And so, Mr. Garrow, giveaways, never. It is all mine. Yes, Mr. Garrow, it is all yours. Every bit of Star Wars. And by the way, talking about Star Wars, I've got some with your name on it, Mr. Garrow. I've got some with your name on it. Poor boy up in the house. What's up? But yeah, so let's see. Some people think so. It drives me insane, but yeah. So anyway, it.
Not the drop them back. I felt like you were trying to tailor that little auction you were doing to the people in the chat. Like, oh, what's up, Legion? And got some Action Comics right here, some Justice League. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of looking good.
You noticed that, right? Okay. Yeah. That's what you do. That's what you do. Yeah. And Mr. Garrow, he knows all about that. He says I'm a drug pusher because like he shows up and I'll start throwing some Star Wars stuff up there. And yeah, you get to knowing what people like and what people collect. And so like I have people that they send me their list. And then if I find it on the cheap, I'll let them know. And if they don't want to buy it, that's fine. Unless it's something weird. If it's something weird, like nuanced, I'll wait and let them give me an okay on it. But
to know the community has been really awesome because in that giveaway I did, I knew two of the people that won. I had 2 books that I showed off, and I was going to go throw 3 more books, mystery books in there, and they weren't anything special, just 1 Marvel, 1 DC, and 1 Indie. And when I saw that Austin LeMay won, I have his list that he shared in the Burke fam chat of Spawn that he's missing. So I put those dollar bin just fluffer books back, and I went to my Spawn run, and I pulled the 3 lowest ones he's missing. and put that in there with his giveaway. And then Remy Q won the other one, and I know what he likes, so I was able to put stuff back and actually put stuff that I knew that they really enjoyed in there with it. That was pretty cool to be able to do that because both of those guys are really supportive and really awesome members of the community.
Well, and it's like with the cover collector, you know, he was on one of your streams, I think, and he mentioned in his stream that the only one I need to complete that set was that number 25 newsstand. And I said, dude, I've got one. Now, you noticed I picked up Wildcats because I'm putting a run together. So I just subtracted from my run. And you know, if you go on eBay, you know, they're not plentiful. And
I think
certainly not cheap.
here in the Southeast, comics are a lot more accessible than a lot of places. Because I see a lot of people moving books on Instagram and online. I see a lot of people buying stuff on the Facebook Marketplace that I think to myself, those are just readily available at numerous stores here in town. And I just never really think about how accessible other places might be or might not be, you know, but I'm kind of blessed where I'm at. I've got like 4 stores that are just packed full of comics within like a 5-mile radius of me.
Well, and that's the other thing, you know, how some people don't get to get out, you know, if they're in their state, the state's on lockdown or something, or they might not have a LCS close to them, or some LCSs don't have bargain bins. They just have big books or new books.
He has to drive an hour to his LCS once a week.
Right. Yeah, mine's an hour away too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things, but you know, I get to get out a lot, and so I get to see different shops. And what you were talking about is true, because I always like to talk to the shop owners, people in the shop. I actually met a guy who says he is the 6th largest Fantastic Four collection according to the CGC census.
Oh, wow.
And so we were talking, and like everything Fantastic Four 150 and up is a 9.8. He don't keep nothing less. I was like, dude. Said, which ones are you missing? I said, what about number 1? He said, I got number 1. It's not a 9.8. You know, I'll take a little bit less on that. He said, which one you miss? I said, which one are you missing? He said, is it 4 or 5? That's the first Doom.
The first
Dr. Doom.
sure.
But yeah, whichever one's the first Dr. Doom. I said, well, man, you waited too long to buy that one. He said, yeah, I know, it's crazy now. But yeah, so but talking to those people and just seeing what's going on and the various things that, and some of it's similar, but some of it's different because you go to some shops and they have like Spider-Man might be the big thing there. And other shops, X-Men's the big thing. And other shops, Indies are the big thing. And so if your thing is it's like going to a Chevrolet lot and you're looking for a Ford. They're going to sell you that Ford cheaper because it's not what they normally sell.
It's the same thing with like regular stores. Like we have multiple like Targets in town, you know, but if we're looking for this for the kids kind of thing, we'll go to one Target because there's just a different demographic of shoppers. It just changes what you know they'll have on the shelves.
Right. Exactly. And so, and if you're able to travel around and you kind of notice those nuances, you can take advantage of some deals. I mean, and people will throw stuff up like dirt cheap. And like you were saying with the community, and I'll give you an example of this. David, Mark Spector Comics, you know, threw up in the Burt family deal. Hey, look what I found. And it was the Ewoks 25th anniversary cover.
Oh, nice.
I said, dude, that's the only one I need to complete that anniversary set. And he said, well, I wasn't planning on holding it. I just knew it was such a good deal. I didn't want to leave it sitting there. And he worked out a deal with me, and I sent him the money. He mailed me the book.
He shops at this magical flea market. Like him and Karate Kevin have this flea market somewhere near them that just has amazing vendors or something because they're pulling stuff from there a lot.
Is he up in New Jersey?
Yeah. So
I wonder if that's some of the same places because there's a guy, don't forget about his podcast. He goes by Buy It Now, BIN, Ben Hunters on Instagram now. That dude comes away with so much golden age fire. It's not even funny. And he's like, hey, I just found this in a garage sale. And I just found it. And he's up in New Jersey. And he'll say, oh, I found this in a back issue bin. And it might be a rougher shape, but it's like golden age Batman.
Golden Age Detective Comics, Golden Age Superman. I'm like, what in the world are you doing, man?
It's getting to the point that where anything that just exists from that era, just for being from that era, is really spiking.
Yeah.
I was just trying to grab some. I just wanted to grab some random Golden Alan Scott issues just to have a few. And if you can find any, just to start off any for sale, they're ridiculously expensive.
So is Alan Scott your jam or Hal Jordan?
I love Hal Jordan to death, but I like Alan Scott a lot. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the retro costume, if it's the fact that he's left-handed. I don't know. There's just so many little nuances about him that I just think are really cool. I mean, he's the OG. I like Jay Garrett. You know, Wally West is definitely my favorite Flash, but Jay Garrett, I'm not going to lie, is the coolest costume out of him. There's really not an argument about that, in my opinion. The blue pants and the red shirt. And I like the JSA a lot because they seem like they actually have to deal with stuff. You know, like it's more classic kind of fighting and stuff, and you know the team dynamic is more important. There's not like characters like Wonder Woman who can handle anything on her own, Batman who can handle anything on his own, Superman who can handle anything on his own. They actually come as a team, and you need the team. It's really cool.
So, I used to say there wasn't any good LCS around me. Then Southern came here to visit and shamed me. So he on his show, him and Barbarian Kung Fu done the show Ben Hunters, and so they would go on there and they show what they got. Well, Barbarian lives in Atlanta, so he goes to the same shop that I went to this week, and so he sees a lot of the same stuff I was just showing off. Well, Mr. Garrow does not live in Georgia, lives in Texas. And so he's like, man, I don't have no shops around me. I mean, he poor mouth the whole time.
Poor mouth.
I go out there and I met Vincent McLean, the Comic Machine, and we hit up a bunch of shops. And I came away with like just boxes of stuff. And he's like, man, you just shamed me right there in my backyard saying there wasn't nothing. You got to go look, man.
Pretty funny.
So Big O says avoid the shop if they don't have prices on the book. Oh yeah, pet peeve for sure.
That eBay crap. I'm starting to hear more and more of that. Those people that price it at the counter.
Yeah.
I like what Thomas said. If I can't walk into the shop and make it rain, not happening.
Well, and you know that's the aggravating thing. I don't understand how these comic shops. So think about this. Especially like a bigger shop that's got a bunch of books. How in the world do they even know whether they are making money on that book or not? Each individual book, there is no way that they can remember that book I bought in a collection and I paid essentially 50 cents a book for it. They can't remember that. Okay. So when they go up there and they don't put any prices on there, they go on eBay. Okay, great. Well, that book might be more or less expensive than what you paid for it. You might be they might be literally losing money on it, selling it off eBay price.
It seems like such an easier format to price stuff as you're putting it out to sell. And then just kind of, I can't imagine somebody who runs a comic shop not being aware enough of what's going on in comics to know when a specific book might spike or if there's a big announcement made. Then you just get out from behind your counter. You walk out to your sales floor, you pull that book, you go back, you reprice it, and you go put it back.
It's fairly simple.
That's so much less work than trying to price them all as you're checking out. So much less work.
And you know whether you're making money per book or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other way you don't.
Because I'm not telling them they need to cut their hands off at all. I'm just saying hey buddy, that's just crazy way to run a business.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand. I mean, how that's that hard, and they're making it harder on themselves doing it the way they're doing. But where I found people that are the most that way are shops that lean more towards the gaming, like RPG games and stuff like that.
Well, my LCS is huge into the role playing games, but they don't. Luckily, he don't do that. He doesn't even like to upsell on ratio variants and stuff like that. And like that Robin King book that came out that was like going $300 the day it came out, that Dark Knight Death Metal. I got mine at cover price from my LCS. And he ended up getting 25 copies of that due to a error with Lunar distribution. He got 25 copies. I got mine for cover price. I even kind of shared that I scored that day on a Facebook group, and of course, where the kind of community difference in Facebook versus YouTube is insane. There's a bunch of not friendly people on those Facebook groups, and everyone's like, "Oh, there ain't no way," blah blah blah. So I just took a picture of my receipt, posted on there, and then I just dipped out, And that day, a guy messaged me telling me thank you because he called the shop and he saw the name of it on the receipt, and the LCS owner told him, "Yeah, I got 25 copies sent to me. I've got 18 left." He goes, "Oh, well, can I buy one?" And you mailed it. He said, "No, I'd like to sell them to the people locally to support my hometown." He said, "Well, am I able to come buy one?" He said, "Absolutely." So he drove 8 hours down, bought one, and drove 8 hours back home.
Dang. I don't know. I'd like one, but I don't know I would have liked one that much.
I wouldn't drive 8 hours to go get nothing. I ain't got time. I would be happy to do that if I had time, but where's somebody going to find 8 hours?
So I was in a shop in Oxford, Mississippi, and that's where I found that Wildcats 25 that I sold to a cover collector. But they didn't have no prices on there, and I was just cringing. And he said, "Well, I got to price these." I said, "Where are you going to price them at, on eBay?" Kind of sarcastically. He said, "No, I'm going to pull it," and he pulled the Overstreet price guide out, and I was like, "Let's go."
An honest man. I get the new one every time they drop them. I don't care what eBay says, especially when it comes to like great big books.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is an awesome tool to have. Like this isn't going to keep up with trendy like 30-day market trends, but this is yearly averages and stuff. It's really not that bad. And some of it's off, some of it's spot on.
Right.
But I love Overstreet, man.
Yeah, I still get them. I like reading the articles in them. I mean, that was what I did. That's what I did with Wizard back in the day.
Crack them old ones open. It's fun to crack these old ones open and just check out the stuff in them, man. It gets really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and looking back and seeing what those comics were valued for back in the day, as opposed to now. And
what your Incredible Hulk was at. That would be interesting.
Which year was that?
This one is the 23rd edition, so this is like 90 something.
Okay.
This one is 90, copyright 92, 93. More what? I don't have any more Nugget. I don't have any. I told you.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, it just got haters out there, but
I don't have any. No, you're not going to yell in my ear. All right. Oh wow. So it hasn't really a good copy in '93. A good copy because this is pre-CGC, so you don't have all the individual numbers. What you have is like low, mid, and high basically represented. You have good, fine, and near mint. Good was a 2.5 or below. Fine is a 6.5, and a near mint was started at 9.4, not 9.2 or 9.0, wherever it is now. But
right.
A good copy was valued at $500. A fine 6.5 was valued at $1,500. $1,500. I can't even imagine. That's insane. For a 6.5.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda, right?
But looking at it back then, it's the same intimidating thought back then because the value of it was down. So it was one of those things, do I want to pay? Because that was considered max value of that book at that time.
Right.
Do I want to pay max value for something? It isn't always the actual total number. It's knowing that I'm paying max value,
Yeah, because everybody wants to get under max value, right?
Yeah. Like those gears start rolling. Maybe I can catch a better deal here or a better deal there. There's another con coming up. There's, because there wasn't eBay and all that back then. I remember going to cons when I was like I don't know, 4 and 5 years old with my dad. You know, and he has a golden rule at cons. He said, we're not buying nothing until day 3.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Best day.
He'll walk up to people and he'll be like, he'll look at something. He's got like a mental overstreet price tag. You know, he's just been doing it his whole life. He'll be like, yeah, I'll offer you this for that. And they're like, oh no, it's worth this. And he'll just, okay. And just walk off. And on day 3, he'll go right back up to everyone he offered something to him. And he'll be like, still got that $20 for that book or that, and boom, 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 boom. And the people that say, no, I want to hold off. He goes, do you really want to carry it home with you? And most of the time he ends up getting it.
Yeah, and that's what with the Huntsville Comic Con that's coming up. Last year, of course, this was in the middle of the pandemic, and they had it anyway. The people were itching. The vendors were itching to get rid of books, and so they were looking to make deals. And I think, especially in April, because the bigger cons, if they're going to happen, they're already pushing them back. So they're still going to be wanting to make deals. And so it'll be interesting to see. I need to be saving my pennies.
Now we saw our local, I'm in Augusta. We have what's called Joe Fest that's been going for a few years now. We used to have the Augusta Toy and Comic Show. And that was going on from the late 80s up until probably the late 90s, early 2000s. And they stopped having them for a while. And then a guy moved here from up north and he started putting on the Joe Fest, which is a toy and comic show leaning more heavily on the toys. And like Sergeant Slaughter's always here. A lot of the voice cast for G.I. Joe is here and stuff like that. But it's steadily getting bigger on the comic area. Where like CGC and CBCS was here last year, and they're still having it this year. They had it last year. I wasn't able to go last year, but I'm definitely going this year.
When is that?
Joe, let me give you the dates. Take me 2 seconds.
So Thomas says, I love those 9.0s. People sleep on them. They present awesome. Exactly. You know?
Walking around. I don't know why. Yeah, no. Finn took it down. About Toy Comic Show. I don't know why they don't have the dates up here. I might be looking at last year's date. June 26th, 27th.
They got any like artists or anybody like that?
I'm not sure who all is announced yet. They haven't really rolled out all the announcements for it, but he has said that they've pretty much booked it all the way through. But they're going to have celebrities and artists, but I'm not sure of what magnitude. Like it's really started out small, and like last year, I think there's like 2 or 3 more actual notable people from the lesser notable area. I don't know if that makes sense. 2 or 3 mid-grade people.
Uh-huh.
But it's nothing huge at all. I mean, it's in our it's moved to our convention center now. We have a newer convention center in downtown Augusta. But yeah, it's definitely fun. But last year when they had it, I had just gotten back from spending 10 days in St. Simons and came right back to town, and Clayton Crane was in town, so I'd been out of work for a minute. So I wasn't able to go. It wouldn't have been feasible. I had to get back to the grind.
Yeah, that's the worst for something like that to come to town right when you're broke.
Well, I wasn't broke. I just literally can't be out of work. Like it's hard for me to be able to get time off. I'm not there. The owner who's trying to retire has to be present on some level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was already stressing that I took a 10-day vacation.
So you can do another day or so. Okay.
Yeah, I came right back. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to take next Wednesday off. They're like, why? I'm like, because I worked on my birthday and I'm going to this signing for my birthday. And they're like, oh, awesome. Here's a few $100. Happy birthday. I'm like, thanks. So they pretty much paid for all my signing and grading fees from the Clayton Crane thing. It was really cool.
We are almost at 2 hours for the auction that never was to be. It became the hall show as well as the hangout. Appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah,
with
man.
me.
Enjoy chatting with you.
Anything you want to shout out for your channel coming up? People should watch for.
Nah, I think it's go subscribe and check it out. Hit the notification bell. I don't know what I'm doing. I do have the live chat tomorrow night where we just literally talk about whatever's going on in the comic world from the week before. Hopefully, talk some WandaVision. That was really good today, like really good.
Yeah, I got my theories now about what's going on. So
Let's hear it.
Thomas said he'll make it feel like an auction. He bid something. So in the last one, Agnes said, "Kids, you can't control them." Right? And so
talking about the dog.
No, Agnes. So when the twins were born, remember Wanda couldn't get the kids to shut up,
Mm-hmm.
and so Agnes says, "Kids, you can't control them." And you notice that there's no kids until this season, or until this episode, rather. So that there were no kids. So I think between dead people and kids, she can't control them for whatever reason. So, because if you notice that Quicksilver knows what's going on.
Oh yeah, did you watch the episode today?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he definitely does.
He knows what's going on, and Vision knows what's going on, and Agnes does too. So I
does
think
her husband. Yeah, her husband knows too. Right. Remember when he was sitting there cutting the wall and stuff, and he was trying to break the news division?
So I think he might be the demon. Was it Psytalk or whatever, the one that people are specking on took over Wanda back in the early Avengers? I think he might be him. I don't think he's Mephisto. And then Agnes is a witch, which makes sense. They're all in this together.
I think it's Agnes is actually Agnes from the comics. If they haven't named her last name yet.
Yeah, Agatha Harkness. Yeah.
Yeah. The Franklin Richards babysitter.
Right. And then so if in the Vision miniseries, Sparky the dog gets killed because he knows what went on with the Grim Reaper and Vision's wife. And I think she killed Sparky to try to provoke Wanda to raise the dead. And because it was after that Quicksilver came back. Because remember in that scene, she goes, "Well, some things are forever. I can't raise, the dead."
Yeah. Finn, bring me that right now.
And so then, but you notice that when she went, wait, let me, I'm going to try to be non-spoilery. So if you'll notice that when she went to expand the town to stop Vision from leaving.
Yeah, she saved him. It was awesome.
Yeah. So but what did she tell her son? She said, "You need to focus." So there's
Did you notice how he was dressed?
Yep.
That was just awesome. Like everyone was in a costume. It was great.
Yeah. And so I think that that's why, but with Quicksilver and Vision being dead, that's why they're outside of her power, and the kids are different,
don't exist at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the kids don't exist at all. Yeah, which is what happened originally. What happened in the comic? That's what happened.
That's what triggered the House of M, isn't it?
Yeah, she was already on the fruitcake side, but so years ago when they had the Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries, that's what led them to getting a divorce. Essentially, was when the kids went away, she couldn't handle it, and so the House of M, what really triggered her was when the Wasp said something about the kid. She brought up the kids. Scarlet Witch brought up the kids or something, and Wasp made the mistake of saying something about the kids not being real.
That's when
And
Jack of Hearts came walking up.
yeah, so she started going crazy, and she woke up Jack of Hearts. She
And blew
kills
up
Clint.
Ant-Man.
Yeah,
No, she didn't
blew
kill
up
Clint. Scott Lang went walking outside to go meet Jack of Hearts, and he blew up. And then that's when the Kree came in, and they weren't really there. That was all her that she created them. And Clint went out in a blaze of glory, put on the jetpack, looked at him, and just took off and flew into the engine. But it was cool because at the end of House of M, that was the last thing you pretty much see of him. That he came back. You see his suit pinned to the wall with arrows and stuff.
Yeah, and of course he came back as the Ronin, which they've already teased with the Ronin stuff from the last one. So I'm wondering though, they're teasing a big reveal, like a big cameo, like to the level of Luke Skywalker Mandalorian reveal.
Yeah.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. Like since they're to put it on that level, it's going to have to be somebody that we haven't necessarily seen in the official MCU. This whole time, I've been kind of assuming that we'll see Doctor Strange, since like the next time we see her is supposed to be in the Multiverse of Madness. So I always had like the idea that before this episode, when they cleared up the air with Quicksilver, I had the possibility that maybe whoever's kind of manipulating things put Quicksilver in there and reached into the wrong universe to pull him from, and kind of bridging those. But they literally should have recast. But I think that it's either going to be Magneto or Doctor Strange. But I'm leaning toward X-Men for sure.
But if you remember, she had that conversation with him about looking different or something like that, and so they even touched on it, the fact that he was looking different than what he used to.
And with this one, they definitely corrected it. Like they showed the flashback where they haven't really done that in the episodes prior, and you see Aaron Johnson instead of what his name is, Evan Peters. You see him getting shot and everything, and they made the comment, oh, she recasted him in the last episode. And in this one, she's like, where's your accent? He's like, where's yours? And like all this stuff is just, we're in a reality altering TV show. So a lot of it, they're going to play into that. And I think we as the fans are going to read a lot more into it and speculate a lot of different possibilities that are just going to be nothing to it, really. It's just going to be an in passing kind of thing.
Yeah. And I don't know. I thought Magneto too. I mean, that would be a huge reveal, right?
That'd be awesome.
But I don't. But they've talked about it being what's his name, the older guy that played him.
I hope they don't go with Ian McKellen. That would make no sense at all. That's not Luke Skywalker level. That's a waste my time level.
But the other guy, the younger guy that plays
Fassbender.
But is he going to be old enough to look like
all right,
the part?
We actually hashed out this conversation. How old is Wanda supposed to be in this?
Born in 89.
So she is 31 years old. Yeah. Fassbender in real life is 44. So you can't gray him a little bit. How long has it been since we've seen an X-Men movie with him? He doesn't look young. He looks like he doesn't look old by any stretch of the imagination, but he's at an age where you can cast him down or up a little bit,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I brought up the point, the most famous run of X-Men in history is clearly the background you're rocking right now. Jim Lee's 90s X-Men. Eric did not look old. They had him looking young, athletic, able, and he was just white topped.
Yeah, because they had to, because he was already getting old. He was World War II survivor, and so he was made young. And so when you come back in the Jim Lee stuff, he is pretty much in his prime. But
I was about to catch him.
But I think that the way they're going to reveal it, I don't even know. They might not even show his face.
Oh, they better.
Might not show his face.
We're going to get a Superman Shazam moment.
Exactly. And so you're going to have like something like metal rising up or something that all the fans are going to know exactly what's going on.
I hope they don't do that. I hope they commit to it, because I'm not sure who it was that mentioned it, but that Disney investor call that went down with all those announcements had nothing about X-Men in it. So get it, Finn. Finn, grab that from sister, please, and go put it back.
But yeah, well, they're not gonna be a team, but they're gonna introduce the characters like they did the Avengers.
I just
But they're
hope that
gonna be like
they at least get us at mutants in the MCU. Like
oh yeah.
it's time to get us hyped up, get us there.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna she's bring. So the thing about
Drive
this
up,
too,
drive up the price of this book, please.
like you're gonna sell it.
No, but it's still fun to own things that are worth a lot.
That's true. But think about, so when what's her name has gone through the thing twice, what did they say? That hexagon has already altered your cell.
Yeah, Rambo. I think they're
Yeah.
leading up to her taking over Captain Marvel. Hopefully, taking over Captain Marvel, or either going straight into the photon thing. She's had
Yeah,
numerous
well,
different heroes.
Yes, I think that Captain Marvel is going to be. I think they're going to write Brie Larson out.
I hope so.
So
Nothing
Rogue,
against her personally, but she's just kind of a stale actress, and it's not just as Captain Marvel. She just doesn't really deliver a lot of momentum with her performances.
and the way that they've
Yeah.
done Carol
Yeah.
Danvers in the
Yeah.
comics, that's why she's that way in the movies. The comics, they did her so horribly. She used to be such a good supporting character. Now it's just like whatever. They're trying to push their agenda anyway. I think that Rogue is going to take her powers, and that's how they're going to write her out. And the way that they're going to make up for her not being there is going to be Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel, because they're bringing Kamala Khan in. So she's going to have her own show.
I'm not too excited about the Kamala Khan thing. She's just from an era of Marvel that I wasn't collecting or following,
Yeah.
And isn't she just like a dollar bin Reed Richards power set? She just idolizes Captain Marvel. That's why she wears the outfit. Now, if you want to get me excited about Miss Marvel, hey buddy, can you do me a favor? If you stop fussing, I'll let you down sooner. But dry it up. Remember when Miss Marvel rocked the black outfit with the yellow stripe?
Yeah,
That's
Wilbur.
how you get people excited about Miss Marvel. That outfit.
And that's true. But see, Marvel is more bent on Carol Danvers being the lead source, being the head honcho, and all that kind of stuff, than they are about her being a good character. And so they butchered her character in the comics, and then Brie Larson just took a page from that. So, like I said, she used to be a really good supporting character, but then they wanted her to be the Captain America lead role type. She's not that.
I think that they were test running the A-Force thing to see if they'll have potential for a spinoff, to do something with just that set of characters. And that was about the most cringe, out of place moment in all of Endgame, is when they forced that moment. Which I got to tell you, I look at it from two different ways. As me personally, they rubbed me the wrong way with Captain Marvel out the gate. I was looking forward to that. For me, I grew up loving Shazam, the real Captain Marvel, and I grew up loving Marvel because I had this thing for Captain Marvels. When I grew up, I'm a huge Superman fan now, but I used to have a grudge against him. I don't know why. Maybe it was just growing up, that my rebellious stage was just thinking that Superman's a chump. He's the Boy Scout, and seeing Captain Marvel beat him up in Kingdom Come was so epic in my mind. And the way that they handled Marvel in Captain Marvel was the most disrespectful thing to comic book history I have ever seen done on any form of media. The fact that you would take someone like Marvel, who's one of the most iconic comic history characters there is, with his death being the only death in comic history that has ever actually mattered, and just crapping on him, just completely crapping on him. That just this is just disrespectful. How can Marvel approve this? So after that, I was out. I checked out.
Well, he and basically they've talking about Marvel. So that's the only Captain Marvel in my mind.
That is it. Other than
what's that?
Other than Billy Batson.
Oh well, yeah, I'm talking about Marvel side. Yeah. So on the Marvel side, that's the only one that I'm worried about on the Marvel side. But yeah, so as far as the he died a hero, and they've actually left him dead. Fantastic. Okay. But the problem in my mind was when they peed all over his legacy by making him some whoremonger that every time you turn around, he had some bastard child, you know?
I
And
like
so- you know what I'm saying?
I like Legacy. And Avengers Unchained issue whatever, like the first appearance
Well,
of Monica Rambeau has Photon, has Legacy on the cover with her too.
And I'm not talking about Legacy. I'm not talking about Legacy. So Legacy was 90s, right? But especially some of his outfits. But
Headpiece.
but with Legacy, he was not really a child. He was really like a clone. She had his DNA, so he was not really a child. But then the gay Captain Marvel that became Quasar,
Mhm.
that's his love child.
What is his name?
Hulkling
What's his
Hulkling-
real name?
is who's that? Whose real name?
Quasar.
Wendell Vaughn, but that's the different Quasar. That's a guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the Annihilation run, Wendell Vaughn gets killed by Annihilus, and then Quasar, Marvel's daughter, takes the quantum bands, and then all of a sudden she's Quasar. But
about
she's
when Rick Jones had the quantum bands and they have like the whole duel thing with Marvel, and he'd slam them together, and he would have like his dad's costume, but he looked like he was charged with the power cosmic almost with the way his skin was. That was a cool run.
So he got granted cosmic awareness by Eon, not Eon. What's the name of that tree guy? That might be Eon. Anyways, he got granted that later on in the run. Marvel did. I got his first issue over there. I've got his first appearance in Marvel Superheroes or whatever. But yeah, so and Rick Jones, I mean, he's got to be like the supporting character, the greatest supporting character ever. He's like supported every single Hulk and Captain America, Marvel. I mean, he's been around the block a few times, but
He should have PTSD by now.
I know, right? But with Captain Marvel Captain Marvel, Hulkling is his love child with a scroll.
That's weird.
They revealed that in
He
the.
has a lot of children that turned out to be gay with Hulkling and Quasar, and
it's like, why? Just because you want to pee on a guy because he was actually a noble guy. This is what they do to Captain America all the time. It's like he's got to have some kind of flaw somewhere. How can you just not be a moral guy that tries to do the best he can with what he got? Why you got to drag him to the mud?
I talked about that briefly in the comment section on one of Two Brothers videos, and then with the Comic Vet, how Cap and Superman both suffer from that right now. Like because of their morals and the way these characters are written, they don't get the love that they deserve, because we're kind of in this weird time era where everyone's like praising anti-heroes and all this stuff, which is weird because if you look at the direction that a lot of the writers are going in comics is kind of leaning toward a certain direction and a certain ideology of belief, which is counterintuitive to the characters that they're presenting inside of it.
Yep.
Like the characters that really stand for those concepts and beliefs are not getting front ran at all.
Well, think about Superman. I mean,
That's
Bendis did the same thing with him. And it's like, why can't you just have a guy that you look up to and say, man, if I was a superhero, that's the kind of superhero I want to be, doing the best you can. You don't get it right all the time, but you try your best. But
Doing
you're
the
right.
right
That hero.
They don't need to try to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
They
And
have to be the hardest characters to write though to make them relatable.
yeah, and that's true.
There has to be an avenue to do it, because like with Cap, if he's so perfect and everything, just take the example that he can lift Thor's hammer, but so does Thor, and look how flawed he is without trying to kind of like shoot the character in the foot to do it, to show it. So there's definitely an avenue to do it there. It just has to be found. You have to have a good enough writer.
Yeah, that's true. And Cap is more of a niche character. Superman's one of DC's big characters, so they really need to put like top-notch talent, not newbies, on that title right there. But
I tried it with Bendis. We mentioned this. He's just kind of past his Either he that
Yeah,
this isn't a character for him specifically, or he's really just past his golden age. Which nothing wrong with that. It happens, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Can't hit
So
home.
I heard that Joshua Williamson, who did Flash, is doing he's doing a Batman title now, though, right?
I believe so. No. Well, he might be doing Detective Comics. Tynan's doing most of the Batman stuff.
But
So.
he's doing the new Future State thing that's going to continue on. It's called Gotham, and I think it's
That 5 issue about Red Hood. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
coming in a few months from now. That's just because, like, I'm thinking that there's a huge potential that Peacekeeper 1 is going to end up being Red Hood. Like that, there's no way for me to confirm that. That's just me speculating the way the story's going. We haven't seen Damian yet. We haven't seen Jason Todd yet, and like we've seen him in like flashback kind of backup stories, but nothing inside of the main continuity of the story is being told. So they have to pop up. There's been brief mention about him. So if they make Peacekeeper #1 Jason Todd, there's a massive story to be told about him getting into that role. So I think it potentially could be that. But Williamson is one of the best writers that DC has going for them right now, in my opinion. He's great about.
Well, I mean, he brought Flashback, right?
Yeah. Well, not just the Flash, but the Batman Superman title. There's their ongoing title that, DC's continuity was weird the way that they were doing it running up to Future State. You know, they have the tightest continuity in comic book history with New 52, and it was very problematic for the creators behind it. And so they kind of loosened it up so you could kind of just nitpick books here and there and story arcs here and there that kind of go together. But he was writing a lot of stuff that wasn't really tied in heavily the whole time to the main continuity, and it was great. Like, I loved it. I was kind of picking those up like really heavily, and he's just totally underrated writer.
But you got Vendetti, who's writing backup stories. You got Peter Tomasi, who was writing good Superman. You had Super Kids. I mean, why are we not seeing more of Tomasi on Superman?
I think I mentioned it to you too before Future State that Tomasi was writing Tech, and while Tynan's doing Batman and everyone's talking about Batman, and I was saying from jump on that Ghostmaker run that this is garbage. This right here is about to flat out. Y'all should be reading Detective Comics. That's where good Batman stories were being told. So that's another one. It's that hype train, man. That hype train drives the sales. So that hype train steers what DC is doing and who they're putting on stuff. And it's not the quality train; it's the hype train. Just because Department of Truth is amazing doesn't mean Batman's amazing. Just because it's the same writer, it's not.
Well,
not how
Batman leading up to 100 was good. Afterwards, it was very lackluster. But I think it was just because they didn't plan on keeping him on there, and they're like, "Holy crap, people are liking this. Let's spread it out until Future State starts."
they could have done what they did with Flash, and when Williamson's run ended, they just put other people on it just to write throwaway stories. And there's nothing wrong with throwaway stories, but I guess I've been reading comics long enough to know that if you end a run and there's 4 issues until an initiative like Future State happening, there's nothing about to happen in that book. You know what I mean? They're just getting the issues out because they have to get out. So enjoy those stories for what they are. And I knew that that's what Ghostmaker was about to be. There's no way we're about to tell something epic in 5 issues before Future State. And they should have just left the Ghostmaker thing on a cliffhanger and just picked it up and not try to force it into a story arc. Like, I don't know if you read it, but how Clown Hunter had a gun to Harley's head who was strapped to a table. Cut the book right there. To be continued. To be continued. In
cliffhanger, exactly.
Yeah, dude, like that would have been epic. And then have Val Venom pop up in Future State as some awesome character. You know, just haven't seen him yet either.
So you think he's going to be Red X?
I hope he's somebody awesome. I think that the way that they presented Red X and Titans, first off, that Titans 2-story arc was just amazing. And they did show Red X, but they made sure they did it very ambiguously. And that being said, he does fit the script of somebody who could still be Red X. And somebody yesterday tried to tell me that it's going to be Dial H for Hero that was Red X, but he's clearly not in Future State because Dial H and Red X were present side by side in the storyline. So it's definitely not him, but I think it should be Val because, when Batman needs one of his wards to kind of get out from under his cowl and still be under the guise of something, under the leadership of something, that's where they go. They go to the Teen Titan. It's the best place for them.
Yeah.
Al has a long way to go to get cleaned up.
Yeah, it makes sense. But they took Tomasi off of Tech though,
Mm-hmm.
and so you got proven. I know what they're doing. They're cutting costs. I mean, they're putting these new people on, which you have to have new people because at some point these guys like Bendis are going to run their course.
Let me tell you something. A lot of that new talent that it was their proving ground and their proving moment with Future State. They earned a spot on a book. I mean, I want to see it at this point.
Well, the ones that I read, which there's some speculation as to whether or not Swamp Thing is going to continue on, but
100%. Rom V is going to be writing a brand new Swamp Thing series starting in March, and I couldn't be more excited. That's the number one top talent writer that I was unaware of. It blew me away.
Yeah, but I was, like I said before, I was very pleasantly surprised with Detective and the Batman title. The next Batman title. So, what is that?
Swamp Thing issue 1 by Rom V.
Oh, is this like the ones that are coming out?
Yeah, that's after Future State. Yeah, Rom V's writing it, and Perkins is doing the artwork. I'm trying to look at who's going to be writing Detective real quick.
It's Mario Tamaki.
Oh, that's who's been writing
Detective.
Dark Detective.
Dark Detective, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She hasn't done bad at all. Mm-hmm. Not one bit.
Based on some of her other stuff that she's written, though, I was like, oh, Lord, this is going to be so stupid. But like I said, pleasantly surprised. Dan Moore's art probably helped some of that. I like the way he worked. Wow. Yeah.
I was talking about this, too, like how he uses thin pencil work. I like that. It works good for the Batman stuff.
Yeah, he mentions Grifter. I like the Grifter story, too. Yeah.
It was really cool. So did you see where the Crime Syndicate's going to be coming back, having its own title as well? Yeah, there's going to be a Crime Syndicate's going to have their own book. The new Suicide Squad team is getting a book. There's a lot of promising looking stuff that there's obviously all of our familiar characters are coming back, and we're seeing them in new places that we wouldn't expect them. So I'm pleasantly excited about the shakeup. I know that there's a lot of people that have started collecting comics in the past 5-10 years that got into it based on their introduction through the MCU movies. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. So they naturally, when they started getting comics, they went to Marvel. So Marvel has this following they got introduced through there that haven't moved over to DC stuff yet. And for whatever reason, they've heard that it's bad, this or that. But this is a great jumping on point. And if these stories in Future State are any indication of like what people can expect, if they get some new readers going and some new dialogue going, that they got a good shot at picking up some steam here.
Yeah, DC, not only on the movie side, but also on the comic side, they just need definitive leadership. They've got that at Marvel Comics somewhat. They do have it at Marvel on the MCU side with Kevin Feige. He knows what he's doing. And
he does. He's announced numerous times and talked about it, how he actually is able to use the comics as a soundboard for what direction he wants to take the movies in. And people don't really realize that, but that's why you get completely trashed events like Empire also, though, Atlantis Rising, because he's running his thought train on your wallet, and you're suffering for that. And DC doesn't write comics with future movie spec involved in it. So,
But should they?
I don't think so, because I don't think the majority of look at what's going on with Spider-Man. Look what Marvel has done with Fantastic Four in the past. Look what they've done with X-Men in the past, because they didn't own the movie rights, or if they're
they had them in the ground. Yeah.
Advantageous for them to make money in the movies, the readers pay for it. And with me, with comics, that's where I get all my enjoyment. It's just reading them and talking about the stories like we're doing now. I don't have in it to sell them and nothing like that. I commend the people that can do it. I just don't have the heart.
I think though they try too hard to force things though. So, because think about Empire. Could Empire have been a good story?
No. It was so bad.
Could Empire have been a good story as like a 4-part miniseries? Not all the tie-ins, not all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Marvel does it on that side because it pushes books out. I mean, like Eternals 1. How many variant covers did you have for Eternals 1?
There's
It's like
21.
way too many.
There's 21.
And so, you know, whereas just worry about telling a good story because somebody can pick that up and run with it. And like with the MCU, they take bits and pieces out of all these different storylines. If like even the Infinity Gauntlet, if you read the Infinity Gauntlet back in the day, like I did, it wasn't a verbatim what that was. They took little pieces here and there. It was enough to make fanboys happy, and it was enough to keep the new reader or the new watcher interested.
Oh, absolutely.
And DC can do the exact same thing with
I
any
didn't
number of
really
Batman stuff.
enjoy Endgame. Like the first watch through with Endgame, like by the end of it, I was like emotionally hit. Like I loved it. It was great. And then just sitting back thinking on it, thought to myself, I don't need a single bit of Endgame except the last 45 minutes to even matter. Like that's all that mattered with that whole movie, really. But other than that, I mean, I feel like they lean too heavily into the fan service and really to the employee service more than anything, wanting to make sure they included all these small little characters coming back to make one final appearance. Characters we didn't need Howard Stark from Civil War coming back to make a cameo. We didn't need Kirk Douglas coming back as Hank Pym. We didn't need all that in this final movie. And that, like, I've rewatched it times, but I've only rewatched the last 45 minutes.
Well, there was a lot to do in there. But, you know, the thing about that is they put all those little things in there, and that gets other people talking about all these things, right? Which puts it out there, trending topics and that kind of stuff, which then people go, oh, well, you know, that's a comic book. Let me go check that out. That's exactly what they're doing is marketing. Where I feel like DC's failed is they have all these years, even more than Marvel does, of great storylines. Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, CW, come on. You know, anyway.
That was insane.
But I mean, you got Crisis on Infinite Earths, you got Nightfall, you got the death of Superman, which they kind of did with Batman versus Superman. But what I'm saying is they got all this stuff. If they could get the DC hype train similar, they don't have to carbon copy it. But if they did something very similar to that, there's enough fanboys that watch the Christopher Reeves movies. And yeah, exactly. You know, and, you know, that was what they know, that they could throw a little fan service out there and people would suck that up, man. It would tickle that nostalgic funny bone and they would sell tickets.
They're getting to the point, though, like just using that one example, because it's been so long since they've been like, because you can look back at Marvel DC history and watch them do this from top company. Like that's just the nature of the history of those two companies. But it's getting to the point where it's been so long, especially film wise, that DC's been up here, that those nostalgic boys, they're not going out to theaters anymore. It's been a hot.
Yeah, it's a little hard to reach back for the Superman side, but you could do it for Batman because you could do Dark Knight.
Have you noticed how they're starting to like become this little pocket of people that just trash talk the Dark Knight trilogy? They're like, oh, it's horrible. Like that. Those were amazing movies.
I don't know what cliff they fell off of and how they bumped their head. But
like Facebook has become the most toxic place in the world for comic fandom. It's just insane. And what it is, it's because look, I enjoyed the Suicide Squad movie. I like Jared Leto's portrayal as the Joker. I could have done without the face tattoos, but I like the way he was the Joker. And I don't know how many conversations I had when I've talked about how it was really the most accurate portrayal of the Joker, like how crazy he actually is, you know, not just the gangster or the agent of chaos, like controlled chaos, because there's nothing controlled about the Joker. And I've had all these conversations with people online that have just like trashed me for liking Leto as the Joker, but these fly by the seat of their pants, live by the minute internet folk, as soon as Snyder dropped those images of Jared Leto as the Joker, the internet was loving him again. I'm like, what do you know?
Well, and all they did was take the tats off of him.
You know, there's little scars on his face, so it's cool. Like, from how are you going to write into the movie that he doesn't have face tattoos? Well, he's the Joker. He cut them off. Like, they're not big tattoos. You know what I mean? Just just peel the whole face off. Yeah, I got better.
Yeah.
Yeah, his eyes on that are amazing.
Yeah, this is so cool. I almost got the Bane figures, the Last Night on Earth figures that came out.
Wow. Does he have Scarecrow on his back?
So Scarecrow is its own figure, and Bane is the Build-A-Figure.
Okay.
So you have to get a Wonder Woman, or the Wonder Woman, the Bruce Wayne, which has the head of Joker in the lantern, and the Scarecrow, and the bad Bruce Wayne. You know, the non-clone one.
I forget what he called himself, and there wasn't the Final Night or something like that.
Yeah. Not to
But
spoil anything for those of you who've not read Last Night on Earth, but it was a good story.
and stuff like that makes me mad mad at Romita Jr. because I'm still a Romita Jr. fan despite how well he did not draw Action Comics for the last long time. But the covers that he did for Last Night on Earth were amazing. He did the he did the A or B on one of the other, but they were amazing.
Yeah, I think Romita has just I think he was doing like Bendis. He was just mailing it in. He's like, I'm cashing the check. That's about it. Because you know, if you go back to his old stuff, like Spider-Man stuff, he looked a lot like his dad's artistry. And I get that he kind of feels his own oats and he gets his own way.
He found
But
his own Daredevil.
oh yeah,
That
yeah.
run.
The Daredevil run. He did the Hulk run. You know, I showed some of the books earlier. He did a Thor run. I wasn't too hip on, but it was okay. Of course, his X-Men work back in the mid '80s. You know, and then even when he came back in the early '90s, it was good. But
He's a great artist capable of amazing things, but I don't feel like he can work on he doesn't need to be doing monthly interiors.
yeah, well, you know, Clayton Crane doesn't do a lot of interior work anymore. He just basically does covers, and so sometimes people find their little niche.
As many covers as that guy puts out, I don't think he has time to do interiors. If you add up how many covers he releases on the schedule, it probably makes an interior comic book. I mean, he's talk about somebody turning it in and cashing the check. Like he doesn't make his art looks great, but geez, it's just
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know how he when he was doing interiors for Rye and for Valiant, or when he was doing the X Force run that he did. You know, he was doing doing it all.
got his Ghost Rider run that he did that 6 issue series. That was awesome. That was really my introduction to him. That came out while I worked at my LCS back in high school. And I saw those Ghost Rider covers. I'm like, dang, that is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know people go crazy for it, man. There's that hype train around it as well. She's a great artist, but there's a lot of people that do a lot of similar stuff. Like I don't know, I kind of like the painted art style a lot. Whether it be digital or not, like that's why I like the Jang stuff. It's had that sense of realism to it. I remember in the '90s when digital art really started kicking off, and like the series JLA, not Justice League of America, JLA, they started having some of those digital covers. I'm like, man, look at that. Yeah, that kind of art was like new, you know. And I just remember how it really caught me. So some of that digital art still just really resonates with me. But Perillo is another one that I really think is underrated. Like that guy does some beautiful covers.
Yeah, Miko Sion does some fire covers too. There's just so many good artists now.
What's that? That Hulk 140 or 340 or whatever? The 340.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Miko cover is gorgeous.
yeah, the C2E2 exclusive. I bought one of those. I bought the regular one. I didn't buy the black and white variant. Or there was an X Force One costume of Wolverine, and I said, "Well, I'll get it later." Not, it sold out, and but that was Miko that done those. He's done some. Let's see, that's issues.
That's another one I love. Yes, that is insane. Let me grab this book. This is a perfect opportunity to show this off. one of these stats. Well, for the Del Auto, this is hands down my favorite Del Auto. Superman's one of my top guys. Chris Reeve will always be the Superman, not just my the Superman.
Oh, sweet.
Look at that.
Yeah, there's such a realism with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane.
I ain't seen that cover. The only one I ever see is the Jim Lee one. That Action 1000. That's the only one I ever see in a while.
You get turtle stuff. I got a stack of random old turtle stuff, man. I've had this stuff for a long time. That other book. Oh yeah, here it is. This is the Masters of the Universe I was thinking of. That I was
Yeah.
old stuff. Look at that Earl Norm artwork, man. Hard to beat Earl Norm.
That's the is that the gold foil variant? Because ain't there a different color? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the gold foil variant of that one. Yeah, I think Keith Griffin wrote that. Done a lot of DC work.
Yeah, it's a wraparound too. Look at that. That is just a gorgeous book. I had the honor of meeting Earl Norm. You know, he did a lot of those older covers on like Savage Hulk and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's that one with the Avengers, like Iron Man in his original outfit carrying the block of ice that contains the Hulk in it. And I bought that art print from him and got it signed by him. It was a really awesome experience getting to meet him. He was such a nice guy. Good stuff.
Yeah, I got this. So that Wolverine.
Return.
Yeah, it's a sideways cover, but it's Del Auto. That's that.
Who's he standing there with? Is that Domino?
Yeah. So CLZ. And I'm gonna keep it from turning.
Oh wow.
You see the bullets flying at him?
I do. Do you remember the Secret Wars that they did? That Del Auto did the entirety of from cover to cover.
Mm-mm.
It was like the 6-issue series or something. It's really good. I don't want to get dig through my stuff, but he did the interiors on it. It's amazing. They basically the Avengers get tricked into storming Latveria, but Secret War, and they're all black covers, and they just feature one hero, big and bold on them. Is she stuck?
And I got this Del Auto Wolverine right here too. He's done several with these people, like people in that same pose.
Yeah, the Daredevil one.
Mm-hmm.
Secret.
And then Miko has been killing it on these.
Oh yeah,
too.
with Maverick in the reflection, and then they did a matching one. Kid Rano Prince got that, and there's a Maverick one with Wolverine reflecting in Maverick stuff.
Yeah. And then there was a connecting cover with him and Omega Red. You have to get both of them there. That's
awesome.
The one. I got the Virgin of it too. Let's see.
This is 2004 to 2005, Jason.
Oh yeah. Okay. I just lost sound on you. There you go. Yeah.
So it was 5 issues, I guess, because they all had their own issue. Where they put them all together for the collection. Del Auto did the interiors on that, and it's wicked. Seeing how somebody who takes that long to do a cover works interiors, it's definitely different, you know. So the whole style of it, like the dynamic of characters and motion and everything, it's wild.
Yes, yeah. Like you said, when you take up that much time to do that much detail to do the entire book gets problematic.
Some people, but then you have some people that are just God amongst men when it comes to art.
Alex Ross, yeah.
You lose nothing on the interiors with this guy.
Oh yeah.
Nothing.
Well, it's funny because John Buscema and Sal Buscema, They said that they used to, they were brothers, and they would like if they I forget who it was, maybe it might have been Stan Lee, said that, or it might have been Jim Shooter, but said that, hey, you did your brother did 10 pages for me. Then the other one would come back and try to do 15 pages, and they would pit them against each other to try to get more work at them, because they were doing a lot of art and inks and that type of stuff.
That's pretty funny. That natural competition probably burned inside them already. They're probably already wondering how much their brother was doing. That sounds like something Shooter would definitely do.
Yeah, I wonder if the Kubert brothers did that, Adam and Andy, because.
Let me grab something for you real quick.
Yeah, that's a good one, Thomas. I like that one.
That's the real Kubert back in 1993, Joe Kubert. And my dad, my dad had him draw something for me and my brother, and my brother doesn't keep up with nothing or care, but.
Oh, sweet.
It just wasn't like at like a big con. They weren't rocking crazy cons back then. This was like he was at the LCS kind of thing while he was in town. It was really cool. Yeah, I was 5 when I got that.
Sweet.
Yeah. Just on a random piece of paper with just a random little ballpoint pen,
Yeah, I mean, of course, he did a lot of those old DC war stories and stuff like that. But yeah, that stuff was good. Well, man, I appreciate you hanging out. I keep saying that I'm going to get off, and then we keep talking about comics some more. So it happens.
Yep. I'll make it easy. I'm gonna go check on Finn, see what he's up to. He's getting strangely quiet.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for hanging out. Check out Legion of Comics. If you're not already subbed up to him, sub him up. Be doing the auction here on my channel, 1 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. So be sure to check that out. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything on either channel. Until next time, keep reading, keep collecting, folks. Adios.